Jamie Carragher explains Liverpool's Mohamed Salah transfer issue ahead of impending Reds' exit. Welcome to Anfield Signal, your daily source for everything Liverpool. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Exclusive Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher chats exclusively to the ESA2 about Mohamed Salah and the problem the Reds face in trying to replace him. Jamie Carragher highlighted Mohamed Salah's durability as his best quality, as the Liverpool legend reflected on the career of one of the greatest players to have played for the club. And the former vice-captain Carragher, who played 737 games for the Reds, believes Liverpool might have to look to a different profile of player in the search for Salah's successor. Salah, who is the Reds' third highest goal scorer of all time with 255, announced last month that this season would be final one at Anfield, having signed from Roma for around £36 million in the summer of 2017. The Egypt captain has enjoyed a storybook career on Merseyside, winning 2 Premier League titles and the Champions League alongside 2 Carabao Cups, the FA Cup in 2022 and a first ever Club World Cup for the Reds in December 2019. Salah has played 436 of the 496 Liverpool matches since he arrived and made 323 appearances from a possible 335 in the Premier League. Carragher, who won the Champions League in 2005, says Salah's goal-scoring numbers speak for themselves, but he talked up the number 11's ability to make himself consistently available for the team as one of his major strengths. It was interesting listening to Jurgen Klopp speaking about him the other day, and he gave a little insight into how Mo was probably thinking when he joined the club. Carragher told the Echo he was actually asking where would he play. He was worried about Sadio Mane playing on the right. Where would he play? And it just shows where he has gone from that. He has come in and not 100% sure he will play in the team. But I remember his debut at Watford. I was at that game. He definitely scored, and I could just see straight away he was going to get goals because of the runs he was making. He so was electric. But no one would have envisaged what he would go on to become for Liverpool. And, you know, one of the greatest players to play for the club, one of the greatest players in the world now. For how long has he been at Liverpool? And it is his consistency, I think. And the thing I love is he plays every week. That is something I pride myself on. I look back on my own career and I am proud of that. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck with injuries, but the thing I love about him is he plays every game. He wants to play every game. He wants to break records. He's got that mentality, I can assure you, having been at Liverpool for so long. Not every player has got that. Some players like having a few good games and then they won't come out and have a breather and almost rest on their 3 or 4 great games they have had. And when they are out the team, someone will say, oh, we miss him now. Because when you play every week, you're there to be shot at, you're there to have a bad game or in Salah's chance, miss a chance, whatever it may be. And that is the biggest thing for me, not his quality, but the fact that he is there for Liverpool every week. Attention now turns to how Liverpool go about finding a player capable of following on the right side of the attack. But Carragher doesn't believe any player is ever truly irreplaceable at Anfield. The former centre-back, who was of the Gerard Houllier squad that won the League Cup, FA Cup and UEFA Cup 25 years ago, thinks the decision-makers at recruitment level may look to source a different type of wideman. Carragher added, I never go along with it when someone says they are irreplaceable. Go through the players we've had over the years at this football club, and for me, whether you think he is a right winger or not, he is a goal scorer. That is what he is. And a few years before Mo Salah, we had Luis Suarez, Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler. You go back on the list, and I am not saying it will be easy to replace him, of course, but you might get a different type of right winger, someone who is creating for the central strikers. So I don't think he is irreplaceable, and I don't think it is the case either that Liverpool need to go and sign a superstar as such. Mo Salah wasn't a superstar when we signed him. He come and wasn't sure he was going to play. We bought superstars last summer, didn't we? And it hasn't quite worked out as of yet. Buy the right player for the right reasons. That is what Liverpool need to get back to. Liverpool face major Alexis Mac Allister decision as Arne Slot considers forward rethink. Liverpool are next up against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, with Arne Slot facing some selection posers. Liverpool's spluttering season plumbed new depths with an atrocious FA Cup quarter-final exit at Manchester City on Saturday afternoon. Erling Haaland scored a hat-trick and Antoine Semenyo also netted as the Reds were thumped 4-0 by the League Cup winners. Arne Slot's side will aim to bounce back when they look to continue their quest for the one possible remaining piece of silverware with a Champions League quarter-final first leg at holders Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday evening. And here we look ahead to the changes Reds head coach Slot could make when his team are next in action. Frimpong on standby. There is now no reason for Slot not to go all in regards his team selection, but what his best starting lineup actually is remains very much open for debate after another shoddy display at the weekend. However, with Alisson Becker still hamstrung, Georgi Mamadashvili will continue between the sticks with Freddie Woodman his deputy. Joe Gomez started at right back against City but will come under pressure from Jeremy Frimpong for a start, although Connor Bradley is out for the season. Gomez is also an option at centre-back with neither Ibrahima Konate nor captain Virgil van Dijk covering themselves in glory at the Etihad. Young Giovanni Leone won't be seen until the new campaign. And Andy Robertson is the alternative to Milos Kerkez at left-back, but looks more likely to feature in the Premier League game against Fulham. That sandwiches the two PSG matches. Mac Allister return? The midfield spluttered badly against City, and it's almost certain Alexis Mac Allister, rested to the bench on Saturday after returning last from international duty, will start in some capacity. Slot has used a 4-2-2-2 formation in several Champions League away games this season, and could do so again, which would make Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai and Florian Wirtz favourites to join Mac Allister in the narrow engine room. But continuing with 4-2-3-1 could leave both Gravenberch and Curtis Jones, who started as the double pivot at City, in danger of missing out after both failed to shine. Gravenberch, though, has been a regular this season, which would leave Szoboszlai, Wirtz and Jones scrapping it out for the number 10 role. Wataru Endo remains sidelined after ankle surgery, while teenager Trey Noni continues to have his minutes carefully handled. Stefan Bajcetic has been unavailable all season. Slot waits. Should Slot operate two up front, it's likely Hugo Ekitike and Mohamed Salah will be the preferred options, with Cody Gakpo next in line and Alexander Isak set to be on the bench after only returning to training last week after more than 3 months out. A regular three-pronged attack, though, would give the Reds boss some difficult decisions, with Gakpo challenging Ekitike for a place down the middle and Wirtz for a role on the left. Salah would be expected to be on the right, but depending on whether he plays at fullback, Frimpong could be an option on the wing. Teenager Rio Ngumoa appears to have edged ahead of Federico Chiesa regards order in being used as a substitute. Another youngster, Jayden Dans, remains out, but fellow teenager Will Wright was part of the travelling squad to City on Saturday but didn't make the bench. Liverpool told to sign England duo to replace Mohamed Salah. Why would you waste that? Mohamed Salah will leave a huge hole for Liverpool to fill in the summer, and the Reds have been told that just one player won't be enough to fill it. Former England winger Chris Waddle feels Liverpool should move for a pair of Three Lions wingers to fill the void left by the departure of Mohamed Salah, even though he admits that will be an almost impossible task. Salah will call time on his storied Liverpool career in the summer, with the Egyptian having picked up 2 Premier League titles, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Club World Cup and 4 Premier League Golden Boots during his incredible time at Anfield. As the Reds' most regular supplier of goals for the 8 seasons prior to this one, Salah has become a modern English football great during his time on Merseyside, and Waddle feels that the Reds may need at least 2 players to replace him. The former Newcastle, Tottenham, Marseille and Sheffield Wednesday winger thinks West Ham's Jared Bowen would be a good signing for the Reds to play on the right-hand side instead of Salah, and the Magpies' ex-Everton star Anthony Gordon would also fit the bill as a more versatile attacker to join him in the side. Who could replace Mohamed Salah this summer at Liverpool? There's not many who play his way, admitted Waddle. There are a lot of wingers. I think Jared Bowen is the closest I've seen to a player like Salah who gets the goals, but he's getting on a bit now. If West Ham went down, there's the possibility of Liverpool getting a couple of years out of him. Anthony Gordon plays on the left wing, and I think he would prefer to be a left-sided player or a number 9 now. He's enjoyed playing up there for Newcastle United, so I'm not sure about him taking Salah's place at Liverpool. Elaborating on Scouser Gordon's abilities, Waddle feels his versatility could be a huge asset to Liverpool and force their opposition into altering their approach when trying to defend him. I'm sure he could play there on the right and do it. I'm not saying he couldn't, but he's the sort of player who enjoys running into space down that left-hand side when it's nice and open. He told Fruity King, I've seen many games where the other team have changed a player or changed the system because of how dangerous Anthony Gordon has looked down the left. So why would you waste that? Despite the abilities of Bowen and Gordon, Waddle knows the Reds have a huge task on their hands when it comes to replacing their no.11. I've not seen a great deal of players who can score the amount of goals that Salah can, he continued. There are a lot of players who can create more chances and do some things better than Salah with the ball, but I've not seen a player who could do exactly what Salah has done for Liverpool. Arne Slot's future at Liverpool has Micah Richards and Alan Shearer in disagreement. Arne Slot has endured a difficult Premier League title defence this season, but when it comes to his future, it's likely many will be left divided by what Liverpool do next. Alan Shearer has suggested Arne Slot might have to lift the Champions League trophy to keep his job at Liverpool, but Micah Richards has urged the Reds to give the Dutchman another campaign. The heat has been rising on Slot as Liverpool suffer through a disastrous Premier League title defence. The Dutchman also endured a mortifying FA Cup elimination, which saw Manchester City thrash the Reds 4-0. Matters could be set to intensify as his team head to France to take on Champions League holders Paris Saint-Germain in the first leg of their quarter-final clash on Wednesday night. Shearer reckons this fixture carries added weight for Slot, as securing the European trophy might be their sole route into next season's tournament, given the Reds' erratic domestic form. On the Rest is Football podcast, Shearer said, "It's crazy, especially after what they did last season and the money they have spent. It just hasn't worked for them. They've been all over the place. They've been so inconsistent. He has to get in the Champions League via winning it. I'm not even sure top 5 would be enough, but it's not nice to see what's going on at Liverpool." Back in January, Shearer stated he thinks Slot will get the boot if he doesn't secure Champions League qualification for next term. The Premier League is presently the front-runner to receive the additional berth in Europe's Premier competition through the coefficient rankings, though this hasn't been officially rubber-stamped yet. Should the Premier League secure this additional European spot, a 5th place finish would be sufficient for Champions League qualification next season. The Reds currently occupy the 5th spot, but the battle for the top 5 is incredibly tight, with just 5 points separating Liverpool and 9th place Fulham, as Chelsea, Brentford and Everton all lurk ready to pounce on any slip-ups. While Shearer believes Slot could be in serious trouble if Liverpool miss out on Champions League football, Richards feels the Dutchman has built up enough goodwill to keep his job even if they fall short, pointing to last season's Premier League title win. The former England star said, "I'd like to see him get one more season. This season has been, I don't want to say a transition, and I know a lot of people will say, hold on, he spent a lot of money, but their main striker has been out. They've had a death within the club with Jota. The whole thing with getting players over the line with contracts, the saga with Salah, nothing has been straightforward. I would like to see him with another pre-season, and if next season it's not going their way, then by Christmas, yeah, make the change. He's a manager who has won the Premier League, let's not forget, just last season." Shearer remained unconvinced, responding, "That in itself is a thing that he won the league, but he's miles behind this year after spending that much money. I understand what you are saying in terms of the circumstances, but you're talking about Liverpool Football Club for winning and spending a fortune. They might not even finish in the top 5. That's why they have to get through in the Champions League.